we did cover enough for set and for awk, for geawk, and for cut and other ones. Let me see if there's something else we could do. It's 8:35. We passed way the lecture time. Do you guys want to me to show you more, or you want to start a break and then go for lab activities? Hello? Anybody?
Seeing a little bit more.
A little bit more? Okay. So let me just do a little bit more. Remember, I was telling you that, guys, that there's make and configure utility and other ones that you could build on the system and somebody like Oscar, I believe, asked me what is make, what they do, how do you build system. So whenever you do work on these machines, sometimes you build a system, an application, like for example, let's say you get the source code for Git or for Apache or another tools. Sometimes you get those tools, you build it, sometimes you have the repository, some you just do yum install and yum update on it. But if you don't have the environment on your book, I believe it's chapter 17 or 18. Let me just look at the book. One of the chapters that has the GNU utils. I want to download that one. We could experiment with that one to see how we could test it. Is it chapter 17? I believe, yeah. Yeah, it's there. Let me find out the path. Okay, so here I found out the FTP site. So let me put the FTP site here somewhere. I'm going to make a directory called build. Make their build. And I'm going to go to build. So it's clean, nothing there. I'm going to say vi info.build. Just a info file. So the FTP site is FTP. Let me just read it. ftp.gnu.org/gnu. So /ftp.gnu.org/ftp. And then after GNU, ftp.gnu. No, actually, ftp.gnu.gnu. GNU. What else is there? ftp.gnu.org/shtool /shtool dash 2.0.8. I don't know if this is the latest one they have or something we can look at the web for later version, but it doesn't matter. We're just experimenting something. 2.0.8.tor.gunzip. I believe that's the full path. Okay, so let me save this one there. Now, info.build has that information. I'm going to look at it, build. I'm going to do wget on this one. Copy a link and then paste it here. So when you do wget, it's just going to go and find out that gunzip file, gunzip tar file, and then downloads it. So it is really nice. wget just downloaded that file. At this time, because it has an extension of .tar.gunzip, I could use a combination of two commands to untar it and gunzip it. If I do it in one command, normally is tar-xvzf X mean extraction, V verbose, Z because of the ganzip, and F for file. So I could say that this one, it will extract it at the same time that is doing it. But in this case, I'm going to do it in 2 steps rather than 1 step, so you know what file is there. There's a command called gan unzip, G unzip, and then any file with the .ganzip, you could put it, in this case, star.ganzip, because only I have one file. I could say shtool star.ganzip, it would do the same thing. So now it extracted this ganzip file to a tar file. Before, if I was doing a file on it, which I didn't, let me just put it back the way it was. I'm going to rm everything, star.tar and star.ganzip. So now I have that file. I'm going to run my wget again, and then this time it comes out. I show you what this file is. File is star.ganzip. It shows that it's a ganzip compressed data file. So I'm going to say gan unzip star.ganzip. It unzipped it for me. This time if I say file star.tar, it says the tar archive POSIX, right? And then at this time I could say tar-xvf and then star.tar. X for verbose, because I already extracted with gan unzip. I don't need to put the Z option. If I was doing it in one line, which I'm going to show you as well, it would just do that. Now it created this directory on my system with shTools, everything under it, it's there. All these scripts there. But let me just wipe out everything again and then do it in one command. So now I have the same thing. I'm going to do wget, and then let's then sign info.build. So I don't have to do the option, but because it did not read it, let's do this, cut info.build and then wget. It is still is not reading it correctly. So info.build, I need to do, I could say something like this. If I don't want to cut and paste that one, I could say cut info.build and then do a while read var and then do wget $var and then done. It actually does it because only one line it did it. I didn't have to know the content of that file. I didn't have to cut and paste. Sometimes scripting, it allows you to manipulate. Sometimes you might be in a console that you cannot cut and paste. It takes you forever. These are the tricks that you could play around and get the job done. So now I have it there. And let me clear the screen. And this time I'm going to do it one command. So xvfz shtool.ganzip, it will just extract all of them and tar it as well. And notice that I don't have a .tar file anymore. I only have the ganzip file, and then I have the shTools. So in this case, I'm going to go shtool.8, that directory, and here it is a bunch of author, changelog. I never use this, but I'm just looking at you, like you do for the first time. But this is the file configure. On Unix, whenever you have a build system that you can do, there's a configure file and then there's a make file, like this one. Of course, the install, if you want to do the install of it, there's README file how to do it. And if you downloaded the first time, you had no idea, please do the README. Read the README, it tells you this is the GNU portal, and then it tells you what to do with it. And since I know the process on the build system, I could run a .configure, which most likely is going to say somewhere either on the README or the install. Some people put it on the install. So more install. On the install, you see that it tells you. The step that you do is configure, make test, make install. And then make install should do after the make test and install it. This one basically says make a test, and then after that one, you copy shtool to the path to where you want to do it if you didn't do the make install. Let's see if the make install is, yeah, make install is there. So these are the steps that you could do. If you use the dash prefix option, it is nice because you could just say, when you build it, your make files where should have the default directory to be installed. Dash prefix option is for that purpose. So let me show you one other thing that you should know. This configure file is a script itself. If I say file configure, sometimes people, they put it on the dot configure, some it shows you that it's a shell script. It's a long script. That's why it is this many lines, right? But inside of this configure file, it tells you a lot of the C compilers, everything that are needed, the loader, libraries, anything. If you're doing binaries with C or Apache, some kind of a version. But then if you're doing a regular shells, it might set up a lot of the environment where set is, where printf statement is, where xarg is, all of those ones are being set. You see, the path to the bin and everything. File separators and the export LD library path, PS1, PS2, PS3, all of that information is there. But this is really long, so I'm gonna just do a Q for quit and then look at the configure is one. The other one was makefile. Makefile and input. So in this one, it reads it first time as that file. This is also a text file. So if I say file makefile and then ask a makefile, you can see this one is the GNU makefile. And this is the file that actually when you do make, it reads this as input. The argument to the make that they were showing is a make minus F, this input file. And then the configure automatically is going to read that file as there, and then just create other make files, as many as it is there. So let me just show you the option with configure. Configure -- help normally tells you all the syntax that you can pass on. If you're doing a configuration with secure socket layer, SSL, OpenSSL, some other modules that you're adding, all of those ones are there. So one of the arguments that you need the most is -- prefix. Prefix. And you can see -- prefix, and then there's a prefix. And the example of the script, it was saying that whenever you do that one, you just put the path. Let's say we want to put it on the user local, okay? So under user bin already is there binaries, under sbin is there system bin, so on. Under sbin, bin, user sbin, they are there, but what about user local? In this system, I have user local. And then some of the games, etc., bin, all of other ones are there. So let me just see under user local bin, how many of them? Not that many. So I'm going to put a shtool under user local bin. Because we call it the shtool, I'm going to say configure -- prefix is equal. In this case, I'm going to say user local shtool. The same way that the shtool is there. So rather than tools, I'm going to say tool. And then that would configure it with that prefix. It is going to create the makefile. Notice that it says creating makefile. This makefile is different than the other makefile that we were running as makefile.n. This makefile is based on this system. with this architecture. Uname -a, it reads your system architecture, it knows your processors, it knows your operating system. This is Ubuntu or CentOS, whatever version you have, which is cat os-release, which is CentOS, is going to show that this is CentOS. This make file that just created, you can see the timestamp today at 2035. And then this file is basically going to be used by make. When I say make, it's going to look for this file. And then there's a file, and here it says test. And there's an option for not a file. Inside this file, there's a rule that says how to make the test. And there's rule how to make all, how to remove everything, and so on. You see that they're there. Test all, install. When you do install, how it should do it. For example, when you say make install, it's going to come in install all option. It's going to say make these directory on that prefix directory what you specify. And those directory will be created, the permissions are going to be set and everything. So this is the make file that we need. Make, for example, clean will clean the system with any shared object previously that were done and everything. Distribution clean is another command. Normally, when your build doesn't work, remember the touch command that I was telling you guys that sometimes as a builder, you just want to build your system, you could touch the environment or the star.c files or star.python files, and you build it and you say touch in order to tell the system that I have some new files I would update it, even though you didn't have updated. So when you do make clean, it is going to clean the object files and other ones. And then here, in this case, clean is going to the shtool. It removes it, and then any file with .1, it's going to remove it. The distribution clean is going to clean these options, make files to shtool, toolize, and then config cache and everything else. So at this time, since we're doing the first one, we're not doing any clean or any distribution clean, but we're going to do a make, because inside here I have the file make file, and if I say which make, notice this is the most important thing. This is actually in the system. This is a binary 64-bit. If I say file user bin make, this is my actual executable make that was installed with this version of CentOS. This did not come with the shtool or something. There are certain commands you have to have in order to build your system. One of them is make, the other one is LD, the other one is assembly, and so on. So let me just show you some of the files are there. User bin make is one of the important ones. The other one is user LD, which LD. That's the loader, it does this. So if I say file user bin LD, you could see symbolic link to alternate this. If I say what is LD, it is the GNU linker, right? It gets the linker and links those shared objects with the executables, and then makes the ELF files out of it. So then which AS, the assembly. So if I say what is AS, that's assembly one, GNU assembler. And then which link itself. Link, there's symbolic link and physical link. This is a cross link. So if I say what is a link, and then there's did I do LD? Yeah, I did LD assembly, and then the C compiler. So you could do GCC, okay? What is GCC, GNU compiler? And the old ones that are always used as CC, and what is CC, the C compiler. In this case, it says nothing appropriate, but it is, yes, That one is the original C compiler. So if I say gcc-v for version, let me see -v for version, it tells me the version. If I say cc-v for version, it tells me the version. If I say as-v version, the assembly version is right there. And then let's see ld-v lowercase v GNU LD version 2.7, and then make-v. It tells you that Free Software Foundation license. Now we know that we do have the tools to build the system. I'm on that directory where all the files already are there. Make file is there. The first command that was on the install or readme, it says run make. If I just run make by itself, it's going to read the file make file like this. This is the same as I'm just running it by make like this, because it finds that file and it does build the system for me. So notice that it's building man pages and building all the requirement things. At this time now, it built the system and it created all those man pages, and it created some of the TIM files and all other stuff. I could say make test. And then the test is to check if anything fails. If nothing fails, then you're ready to install it. If something fails, it will report that, oh, this one, there's maybe something is missing or something you have to correct. So in this case, 19 out of 19 passed. What I need to do at this time is say make install. Since I built it, and now it's do that one. So make install, it says run the shtool make dir -f-p. It did not do it. The reason because permission denied. So I have to become sudo to do this. So let me just become sudo sudo dash switch user dash. The reason it didn't do it because on the user local, that permission is not by default is root. So I cannot touch the file under user local root. Say this, I cannot do it. It's going to permission. But if I become root, and then I'm going to go to back to my directory of home wp cs 018 computer science 018 regular expression and build directory. Now I'm going to do a make clean first, because I want to do everything with starting with the make fresh. Okay, so I'm going to say make no target is specified in make file. Okay, so at this time I'm going to say dot configure dash prefix is equal user local shtool. No such file or directory. Oh, I have to be on the shtool directory. Whenever your command does not work, you have to be on the right location to say, well, I'm running this configure command and it doesn't work. I'm outside of there. So it did create a new make file. As you can see from the timestamp is now 2045. Now I'm going to run the make, and it did the make there. Now I'm going to run make test. It's going to say 19 out of 19 passed. Notice that when you're doing something with the system to update library files, shared object files, install somewhere where you don't have permission, you have to have root privilege or at least a sudo access. So in this case, make test did not fail, make install will work. because I have the required privilege. So notice the file as they are getting created on that directory, it is writing all the permission with proper access. Some of them are 644, which means write for the owner, and everybody else read access. And then some of them are scripts that are in bin is 755. Read, write, execute for the owner, and read and execute for group and others. So this is the directory where I installed it. And then the bin directory has the binary for it. The man pages under the shtool user share man pages. So any files that we are looking for, then we don't find it, we could even go to this directory and see if there's a man page for it. And then shtool, all that information are there. And let's go to user local shtool. Actually, right here. So shtool just came out there. Shtool. It has two directories in there. Shtool. One is a bin. Under the bin is shtool itself has its own. Let's see. Okay. Beside this one, I believe under the bin directory, did it add anything? No. So everything I kept it under shtool. Here on the bin directory, we have two files. They're both executable shell scripts. One is called shtool and the other one is shtool-eyes. And if you see on your book, most likely for each of the script that you do, and this one might have some shtool followed by some of those script commands. So let's say if we have a shtool and we see if any syntax is given right there. The nice thing is that this is well written by GNU, so it gives you all the options that are there. And then a shtool -- help will tell you shtool option, command name, and then option for that command name, and then command argument. So that's the syntax that if you want to use a shtool. If you want to use a shtool version, -v or -- version, will give you help and everything. And then echo, for example, is available command names or these commands, version, path, and so on. And then any of these ones most likely has a actual a script somewhere, which is under this directory. Later on, we will find it. Let me see if there's anything else. Under share, okay, there under share, there's man pages. And then man one is all these ones. So if you do man sh tool, now because man sh tool, okay. So let me see. Okay, maybe it is shtool man shtool. If no, so these files are man pages that should have been on the user share man. But let me see if we could do something like this. Man. Not man. I'm gonna do a more on tool.1. Let's see what type of file it is. First of all, it's text. So more tool.1. It is man page format of it, as you can see the format. But we should be able to see the man page for it. So let me see man. shtool-arx. No manual for XHR things. Okay. At this time, I'm going to go back here to see the actual binaries. What is AC local? Okay, M4. And then what is the under the shtool? Okay, so this is the actual shtool commands. They all have a sh dot something. So let's see sh dot version. More sh dot version. This one most likely is going to tell you the OS version. Yeah, opt. There's no common shtool. Prefix name. Determine the current version. Okay. We cannot run it like this, but we might be able to go to the bin directory and do a shtool sh.version shtool version is the name, yeah, dash version and dash v shtool version dash h. Even though it says here man shtool did not give us that. Okay, so man dash 2 file set see the message tool dash help. See if the arguments are one of these ones. Once you find the first one, then after that we could do the rest of them. Echo table install makedir makelen proc table. Let me see if the book give any example of one of the command, because rather than figuring it out, it's already there. Okay, sh2 proc minus p waiting. That's the function, and then function argument test and bash sh2 platform. So there's a command with platform. Let's see, sh tool platform. Sh tool platform. Okay, that will work. So any of these ones with dash help grep minus I platform, you can see the way it works is a shtool followed by the command, the function, or the script in this case, and then followed by the argument to that one. And then for the one that we do prop, let's say, what we were doing, we were doing the version, and the version has this argument, but language, these are optional. Dash prefix is not optional also. The dash increase. So why this one doesn't return version? Okay. Prop sh2 prop minus p waiting. Okay, let's do this. This minus self star dot research. Okay, and let's minus self. This will give you that, and then it says sh2 prop dash prop minus p, and then waiting minus p, and then waiting sh2 shtool, you have to go dot slash. Okay, so it does work for this one. Let me just see. Shtool dash dash help more grep minus I prop. So prop minus p prefix and then the string that I'm doing, whatever it is, polar. Let's minus lr slash root. This is long command, so this might work. Prop minus p way there. See, the propeller is that thing that is keep changing in front of it for waiting, because I'm doing a long command. It's a nice way to say it. Without that shtool, if I run this command and say echo this, I'm waiting, it will just say something that is so dull. It's not doing anything. But here with the propel, it just actually is just showing me the progress. And there's less than sign, right than sign, and all those bars are keep changing. So the prop script is doing that one. What other script they have? Let me see, do a shtool and see the syntax of some of the other ones. So if we did why the version was not working, I want to see that one. Shtool dash and dash dash l grep minus I version. Okay, so version is, this is the new shtool version. Shtool version, v version minus l language minus p. Okay, let's see, we do shtool version dash v dash v dash p, missing argument option dash p, and then dash prefix and dash set dash edit dash I. Okay, dash d display, and then it requires some file or something for input. Let's look at another one of them. Dash help with path. What is under path? Minus I path. Okay, so path fix permission. Yeah, this one fixes the permission if you want to change this. A lot of these commands we know the syntax and how to do it. It just for people they're learning, maybe it might give them the idea to look at the inside that file and just update it. You could even write some of these ones yourself. Let's look at the path. Path suppresses reverse the directory name, base name, and this their name and base names are good. Magic dash path. Okay, so if I say echo and $ path, and then I say at this time I'm gonna say dot shtool path, and let's try path dash b for base name. Invalid number of arguments, at least one expected. Path dash h dash h. Okay, so the base, you have to give a path. Let's say user local shtool. Oh, so the way it works is you don't have to do this command. And this would say whatever command you gave, it will just give you the base name. Similar to like a base name, like if I say set, say base name of set, it will just say set. And then this one of set will just tell me that same thing. On user ben set will also give me set. So here I say base name of user ben set is also giving me set. So if I'm looking for the base name or the dir name is different. Dir name is going to give me the before the set user ben part of it. So if I say dot sh tool path and then minus a dir user ben set is gonna user ben set is gonna give me the user ben part. Yeah, and then so the path the sh tool dash h, it gives you a list of commands. For example, base name, dir name, dash reverse if you want to do reverse something. So let's say the path, if you say path and then user local sh tool, I'm going to just do a reverse of that one, minus r, and then user local sh tool. That one, it shows 3 level you have to go up in order to come back. So if I do only for this one, then it's 2 level, and then for this one is 1 level, and so on. And this one is nothing; it just shows itself. In order to do that, for reverse, suppresses, and then magic. What's magic do? Let me see the magic. And dash m user local sh tool user ben set. Okay, so magic dash dash help dash m magic maybe it's dash m or dash magic, maybe it's magic file command, magic pattern file. I didn't know about this command. Oh, the magic, no, normally inode number has a magic or super block. Let me see what is this one. It's magic of QLED and direct search. File command needs a file. Okay, so what is a magic? File command magic pattern file. Oh, so for each file you might have a magic number for it. So let's say ls-l greater sign t magic of t. What is it? Which magic? Magic path minus m shtool minus m t unknown run minus m path minus mt echo $sign question mark. Not sure what that magic does. So let's look at another one. Shtool dash help. Okay, so now cp substring echo table the echo new line, echo expand. Maybe the echo is doing a little bit different than other echoes. Let me see what sh2 echo. This is a new line. And then echo minus e expand string new line. Yeah, I'll leave this one for you to just look at the scripts commands itself and maybe play around with some of them at the lab or something, or at your own time, or read the book to see what other things they have there. RMT, yes. Okay, let's see if there's any. And those files, like the path, for example, was there, path, store, and then store. So wherever is installed one of them, as the rest of them are there. Under share directory, share, and then under shtool, all these commands. What you want to do is, let's say, for example, on the one that it worked for the platform, you could say store platform, and then you could say sh.platform, read that one to see what it does, how it finds the Unix platform. Most likely it does a una minus v or something, type minus v, and here's the syntax of it. It tells you. So for each one of them, you could open up the file and you could see how it does come up with the answer, and depending on what version of it is on the platform. Unfortunately, there's a lot of big file names and things that makes you dizzy when you look at it, rather than and just some of it is pretty nice written, like this section Sans Solaris. If the OS is Sans Solaris, what to do with it? Case ISA info is the command on Solaris to say, and the architecture of it, what type of processor you have, SPSR info, if it is a Spark and all that things. So it does a lot of commands. It's good to open up these scripts and read it. Like una minus v, for example, show you the platform there. And if it is another QNX, Santa Cruz Unix, like IREX or something, what command to run. And then it's HPUX, what command to run. Most likely is AIX, and OSF1 is DEC OSF1 I used on those systems as well. IBM AIX is there. So for every architecture, in order to get the platform information, once it gets installed, it runs these set of commands. If you are not familiar with it, this is a good way to just look at these codes inside this script and get familiarized yourself with so many other Unix or Linux version and familiarize yourself. But some of these ports, like doing these kind of string manipulation with question mark and all those non-ASCII characters, that could be some Unicode characters or something, whatever they are, what the set that they are using, substitution of these, like we just looked at the set. All of this could be a lot to learn, but at the same time, like I said, if you look at this one, it's going to be substituting. I wanted to cover one more thing in here. When you're inside the set, what if your command has slashes? This is how you change it. For example, let's say I go echo $path, and if I have that as my argument, I want to just do a set on it. I cannot do the search with the same slash, right? So in that case, set allows you to use another command. and instead of slash, you say if it does require the user there, and then close it with another slash, then say P for print, and then that would just find it. But let me see, set, did I use set minus, yeah, set substitute search. This would be searching for slash, search for slash. Let me just make it easier. Write this path, $ path, to an input file called data.txt. Cut the data.txt. Okay, now I'm going to do a set on it, set minus s. Let's say I'm going to do substitution. If I want to do substitution, and instead of saying slash and then backslash user and backslash this, substitute it to backslash Wahid and backslash this, and then I say G for globally on the file called data.txt. Notice that I'm doing a lot of the substitution and maybe it doesn't understand it. Set substitute this. So I'm going to try this one to use another symbol like this, and then substitute that. And instead of escaping it, you could use this character. Don't skip it, and then just change it to that. Sorry, I have to use the same character that I started with and the same character I'm going to end with. So substitute slash user slash to slash Wahid slash. That now makes sense. So what is undetermined substitute? Set. Yeah. So the set command. Let me see if I just use the bang symbol. The bang symbol and the bang symbol. Okay, it did not understand it. I'm going to open it in the BI to see what I'm doing wrong. So I'm doing substitute. I'm going to say substitute brace slash user to slash Wahid slash and then brace and then G. That changed it. Inside the set, it should have worked the same way, because all these slashes, if you just use it, for example, I don't use that brace, I could say 1 comma $ substitute, and instead of this, I could use this symbol. I don't have to be always using slash. So slash is always used there. I could either skip it, so Wahid change it to slash user slash and then G. I could do that, or I could do even back skip like inside here. So let's say I say substitute the backslash slash user backslash slash to another slash, and then backslash slash Wahid backslash slash and then G. I was just typing the number of things maybe on the set incorrectly, but you could do it either with backspace or make it life easier for you. Just write another character that has not a slash, so that could do it. Let's see if the data.txt we could do a set on it, set, and then if I'm looking for only the word user, it will find it and then print it, and data.txt. Oh, actually data.txt already cut it, so I need to put it here. I say data.text and then print it here and data.text here. So this would print it. Let me see now if I just say substitute something. This backslash user backslash this to substitute. Okay, I'm going to have to do a slash here, and that would take the backslash and then another backslash dash, another, then to slash backslash slash Wahid backslash slash and then slash p. Yeah, that could do it, but notice how many slashes and confusion it is. Let's see if we could do it in a shorter form. Rather than doing that, and instead of that symbol, I could say I'm going to use the slash, but I'm going to use a different symbol. I'm going to use the slash, I'm going to use a different symbol, and then I'm going to replace it with that. I'm going to use the different symbol. So this one, it says you change user to slash Wahid there, and then it did it. So yeah, it was doing it the first time also. Maybe something I must have typed it incorrectly. So instead of putting two slashes, you could do it with another character. And notice that if I just change that character to this character, I have to do it in three places. It's going to work the same way. And if I change that one to a bank, the character that you choose is your choice. Anything but slash. If you do the slash, then you have to skip slash with another slash, backslash. Okay, so I'm going to stop it at this time, and then you guys could play around the rest of the night with the lab activities and exercise. And next lecture, I'm going to cover more on maybe cut command, the wall read var, LSOF, list of open file system. There's processes, P3s, and other commands. There's a lot of proc file system. I'm going to cover that one, user proc. Proc file system. On the proc file system, I'm going to give you a little bit detail of what will be there. And the proc file system, actually, there's a lot of memory-based file informations that are, notice that all of the files are showing 0 bytes, but if I'm looking for CPU information, even though the file is 0 byte, if I do a more on proc CPU info, this is telling me all the processor on my machine. It is reading the contents from memory. The proc file system is a pseudo file system, which is a memory-based file system. So when you see the do a cat slash proc slash mem info or CPU info, in this case, it tells you everything about the processor. The processor 0, and then the speed of it and all that information. So if you have more than one processor, it will show you that. If I say more on the mem info, how much memory I have, right there, total memory 188 K, which is about, and it's in kilobytes, so you have to do a basic calculator, convert it to 1024, and then divide by that. Let me just do that, basic calculator. So if I just do that, 10 minus 5, and then go basic calculator, I get 188232300. Divide by 1024 to get it in megabyte, and that's 1838. 1838 divided by 1024. That's again is about 1 gig or 1.8 gig of physical memory. So 1.8 gig, if I run top command, it tells me that the same thing. See that? The total memory that I have. The memory, the CPU, how much of the CPU is used, everything, all the process, that last top 20 commands. This is a nice way to look at the system. Sometimes all the process IDs are there, the users are there, and the priority of the process, whether they're nice or not, virtual memory, resident portion of the memory, shared portion of the memory, CPU, memory, time, and the timestamp that the process started, the actual command. And then there's like if there's any defunk or zombie process, it will show here. And then the rest of the physical memory, swap area, all of those there, the CPU. The CPU, look at it, it's only 3.8% used. It's normally idle. So if I just say free, it also tells me the memory space information. Swap minus L, swap on, and first, and then swap minus L, swap on minus L, swap on minus H, size for size of it. You could get that information. df minus H give you the disk information. Uptime will tell you the system is up and running. Who is on the system, who minus R, show you the run level. In this case, run level, if I could run run level, it tells me run level 5, that the system is running in GUI interface. So in this case, if I just look at the portation, df minus H is showing me this, f disk minus L tells me all the disk portations there. Then you could also look at the proc file system for portation. So you could say cat or more on proc portations. This will actually show the portation tables. You can see that. There's a lot of nice commands on the Unix and Linux. ls CPU. I'll give you the CPU information similar to what we did earlier. And then there's a lot of other ones. We will go play around with them, and as time allows. P3 or not there, but the PS3 is there, and process 3. The 3 and PS3 and other ones, or other commands on P3, pwdx, for example, is really nice command. For example, let's say a net is running, is running. If I say pwdx process 1 for a net, it is started from the root level. And if I see another system, let's say what other things are running. Scheduler should be running, kernel, kworkers, watchdog, SCSI, XFS. Let's say, for example, SSHD, grep minus ISHD. So SSHD is running, and if I just say pwdx 344441, that's the also started as root when it is started, because one spawned it. And how I know that, when on the etc net.d, there's a script called sshd, or etc or c3.d maybe. Depend on where you put it, etc or c3.d. Actually, this one might be a systemctl. Let me just look at here first. Yeah, that is a systemctl, systemd stuff. So on this version, because it's CentOS version 7 point something, 7.4 maybe, 7, and therefore it is systemctl status sshd. SSHD was spawned by systemctl, and then the actual files are in different directory, not on the um, etc net.d. They are on etc or etc lib system and d user lib system d. There's two places that they are there. So one is the startup place, one is the actual libraries. So if I just go here under and look for SSHD, systemctl status SSHD, and the directory I am there, user lib, and then after that, when I have to go to system, then there's sshd.service. Everything that is the .service or the actual service. See that .service? There's so many of them, like firewall D, system D, SSSD, SSHD, all of those ones. So SSHD is one of them, and which is right here, SSHD. So if I look at the SSHD service, this is basically that service. It says rather than going to the legacy system of etc and net.d or c3.d path for the run control, look at the systemctl and then find the actual system d startup, and then here is the etc sysconfig sshd. So inside this file, we're telling all the configuration related to the systemd. For example, if you want to set up forwarding, it is there on the options of you cannot come as root. All those options are in here. And then in addition to that one, it tells you the exact start and then all those ones. So I could say systemctl, and instead of status, I could say show SSHD. This one will show me on the parameter of that services that are there. You see, all the parameters, all the options for systemd are here. So this is how the systemd controls. If I want to just say cut SSHD, this basically cut this file, the .service. Whether I type in and this one will just show the same one, or the cut SSHD there. Same thing if I just have a firewall D commands here, firewall d.service, I could say systemctl status firewall D. I could put .service or just firewall D is the same thing. It knows that this is a service. Okay, so now it's running. Then I could say firewall -cmd --list -all. It will list all the firewall that I'm running on this system. In this case, is these on my firewall. I'm just gonna go fast on that one. I'm not using this system. Doesn't matter. I turn it off all the time. So what else? So this one, you could do the same thing with the firewall commands. You could say status. You could stop it, and then you could start it. And now if I just say status of that one, it just stopped. And if I just run that command again with the list, it's not going to work because the firewall is not running. So in order to do it, I have to start it. And the way you start it, status, it is not running. It tells you right there it's not running. Last time it exited, so I'm going to start it. And now I do a status, it shows running. And if I do run the command firewall list-all, it's going to show. Same thing with the SSHD. So if I just say systemctl status SSHD, and then I'm going to stop it. So if I just do this one is running, yes, it is running. What is the process? Grep -SSHD. SSHD, and then it's running those ones. As you can see, the configuration file was when I did a command here like show, it shows me that some of the parameter, as well as if I just do cut the sshd command.service, it tells me that the configuration is here. So if I go to etc sysconfig sshd, and then sorry, etc sysconfig sshd ssh. Let me just do this again. Systemctl cut sshd. Okay, etc sysconfig sshd. That doesn't exist. So this path is incorrect, environment variable. And normally it is under acc ssh something, yeah. It is there, and then sshd underscore config is the file that actually for the daemon is the one that for the server side that has this, like I was telling you about X forwarding, all those other options that are there. If you want to block the root or something, let me just, instead of cut, you do more. See? There's all these options, how you want to set up the permission as root or not, as on the console, can they log in, X forwarding is enabled or something. And those options are there. And then there's another file called ssh underscore config for the client. You could also do the client part here. So if I say systemctl systemctl stop sshd, now I look for the grep ssh is not running. This is the agent, that's different. And I'm looking for sshd, that's not running. See? And if I do a systemctl status sshd, it says that it's not running. So I'm going to start it. And then I do the status, it's running. Now I look for the process grep minus sshd, is there. Okay, at this time I'm going to stop. I'm getting very dizzy, unfortunately. So I hope you guys are having a good time, and it's almost 10 o'clock now, 13 minutes to 10, and I've been talking non-stop. And plus, I'll post this one after it's done. Okay? You guys are having a good time, because I don't know if any of you took a break. I didn't. I'm going to take a 15-minute break, and I'll be online till everybody else drops. Okay? Have a good one. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Professor.
Thank you, Jonathan.